Today we've got some fun marker techniques for you.
On the gel plate.
It is Posca on the plate, take 402. Action.
Action. These are not just your run-of-the-mill Posca on the plate. These are the new PC 5BR brush markers. So these are cool because unlike the original Posca brush markers that, I can't figure out how to open this, that had a actual brush on the end, this is the fiber nib, sorry,
Nib.
I can't talk. This is the, how to try to do it this way. This is the fiber nib that comes to a point, but the nice thing is that it'll flex. So you can do things with this that you can't do with the other brush tip, and you certainly can't replicate with the other bullet tips because it's a completely different shape.
Yeah, I like it because you can work on the point and get a thin line, or work on the side and get a wide line. So it gives you
It's a multifunction.
Yeah, multifunction. So we collaboratively created that print, which was Barb laying down the black and me laying down the color and hoping for the best.
Right, and we got the best.
And we got the best.
Really nice.
It's a lot of fun. It's swirly and spirally. It reminds me of the old cartoons when someone gets hit over the head.
Oh yes, the
right?
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah, you know, I was saying if this print were mine, I would take the Stickles Black Diamond and I would swirl Black Diamond in the black.
Oh, some black glitter in the black.
Yeah, what is not to like about that?
That would be cool.
Yeah, it would.
You could have it.
No, that's okay. You did all the work.
Well.
I just put the color through the stencil. But you're going to hear Elizabeth talk about the indirect printing method and why it's important. And I'm not going to say it here because she's going to say it. But there is definitely something to be said for producing a print this way as opposed to drawing directly on the paper.
Yeah, when you draw directly on the paper, it looks like a marker. This looks like something different.
It's painterly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go show them how to do it.
All right.
All right. So today we decided to take advantage of the fact that the Posca acrylic paint line has a new tip, and it is called a brush tip. And the cool thing about it is that it can be both pointed on the top and wide on the side, and varying degrees in between of thin or thick, depending on how you angle the marker. And this is the only marker that has this pointed tip.
Within the line, yes. Anything that else is a bullet tip. I mean, you have that PC1M that has that very fine pointy tip, but it doesn't flex the way the tip on this one does.
So yeah, so these brush tips, which are the PC5BR, they have the ability to give you both a thin line on the point and a wide line on the side. So you're getting basically two tips for one. So Barb created this ghost print, this print on the plate for me with our Klimt
Scribbles and Doodles first collection. It's called Spiral Doodle Mask.
Spiral Doodle Mask.
That's a mouthful.
That's a lot. And just in black. You can see it in here. Right in there, you can see it. It's just black. And then I am adding color to the negative spaces with the brush tip Posca markers. This is a set of 16. It also includes off-white, gray, black, and white, which I didn't use because I am going for the all-out color to contrast with the black of the print that Barb put right on the plate. And you can also kind of have a look at the other side and see what we might be getting. So we've got these big, black, bold pattern lines from the mask, and then the color from the pens. So I just saw that open spot in the back. I guess that's a way you can check and make sure that you don't have any missed spots, is to flip it over and look at it, like right there. So yeah, so what I want to show you is, first of all, when I'm doing this, I pick up the plate and I move it so that my hand is in a comfortable place. So don't be afraid to pick it up and move it around so that you can have the angle that you want. That's easy to do. You're not disrupting anything. And then, you know, the idea of flipping it over and looking to see where you might have missed a spot. And so let's see, I'm going to color. I colored in all of this, just enjoying the process, and then I'll color in right here. So when you're on the tip, you get this nice thin line like that. And then when you're on the side, you can get a really angle it on the side and get a really thick line. So this is a really cool new tip because you're getting like multiple tips out of the one marker. So that's pretty cool. And then in addition to the fine line and the wide line, depending on how you angle it, it also makes kind of an interesting, the bullet points, they make a dot, but these on the side, you can make like these little kind of tick marks that I've kind of taken advantage of in this pattern, you can see. And it's just by holding the marker on its side, and you get these little kind of sideways marks, which are different than the dots that we usually make. I'm trying to find a good color to put with that. Orange, I'm gonna do some, or that's like a salmon. And then I'm gonna alternate in between there. Like that. And in the small areas, and you know, you don't have to color within the lines on this because the black is down first. So if you go over any of the black, it's not going to show. What you're going to see is this, because this will be on the surface of the paper. So if you don't stay in the lines, you're not going to see that because the lines are down first and you're coloring from behind. So there's no need to worry about being accurate in these spaces. You can just doodle and have fun. And
this is no pressure coloring.
Yeah, it's no pressure coloring. And you can you just want to let this black print with the paint obviously dry thoroughly before you get in here with the Posca, but it didn't take that long.
No, I mean, I actually did that yesterday in preparation for today, but the valid point is that it was probably dry in maybe 15 or 20 minutes because I did apply the paint reasonably heavily. What I did was I put the mask down on the empty plate, and then I used a small brayer and I put the color through the openings in the mask, and that's how I got what was there. And to make certain that I got it in all of the little spaces and grooves, I applied the paint a little heavier than I ordinarily would, but obviously this was a different purpose, so that was okay. And most of it filled in pretty well.
Yeah, it really did. And now we're just coloring from behind. And the colors in this set are really a nice broad range of colors. Like, you know, you have the few neutral ones, but you've got a lot of great, bright, fun colors to work with. And I think you're really going to love the versatility of this brush tip. I think that's almost it.
So obviously the other point here too is you do have to wait till all of the lines and the dots and the dabs that you add are dry. You don't want to try to pick that up until you know it's all dry.
Yeah, yes, good point. It doesn't take too long though.
No, because you're not putting it, I mean, this is nowhere near as heavy as I put the paint on to put that black in yesterday. So 5 minutes is probably enough.
Yeah. And I do love these little the edge of the marker marks. Those are kind of fun. I also went around the edge of the plate, and you can see here I'm pretty messy. Right in there I'm pretty messy, but when you see the other side, you see the black is on top. I feel like there's some that I didn't color in there. And I want to add some dark blue in with the light blue. I want to see how that goes, like where you kind of put two colors.
And you're putting that dark blue over a light blue that's dry because you don't want to contaminate the tip of the pen either.
Yeah, the light blue is dry. Yeah, I have already contaminated the tip of the yellow pen. I wasn't going to tell you. I was just going to put the lid on and
you know, I'm okay with that because that's your set.
Best.
Mine's
oh, this is my set. Ah.
So you reap what you sow, sister.
Oh my God. Okay then. Well, I wiped it off on a paper towel.
Okay.
So I did get a little orange on the yellow tip, but I wiped it off on the paper towel and you can't see it now. So, you know, if you get that.
From Oregon to California, I definitely won't see it.
That's funny. Yeah, okay, so this is my set. How cool. All right, so I think that's good. So what we're going to pull it with is the Yasutomo Sketch rice paper pad because this is my favorite pad for gel printing. It's got a real nice smooth side that will really pull almost everything, or if not everything, off the plate. So I really like that. It has sizing on it. So it is a process that they use to make it super smooth on the front with sizing. The back is rough. So it's the smooth side that I like to print on. It gives me the best print. So we've got that sheet, and now we've got all of these beautiful colors with the nice neutral bold black. And I want to pull it with something that's not going to affect any of these colors, something that's just going to lay in the background. So I'm going to use this Titan Buff Deep. It's a little bit off-white. You can see that it's not as white as the paper. It's a little bit off-white, but I really don't have much showing through here. I've pretty much covered the whole area in there. So it's not like I'm looking for this paint color to come through. I'm just looking for this paint color to pull the print. Now, I know that we're going to get people that are going to ask us, Barb, why wouldn't we just do the gel print on the paper and then use the markers on the paper? Well, this is an indirect printing method. So when we pull this, the marker lines are not going to be perfect. Some will be heavier than others. They're going to pull off in a way that is an indirect print, and it'll be more organic and interesting looking when it has when it goes from here to here rather than us just coloring on the paper. So that indirect printing method is going to give us a different effect, and you get to have that enjoyment of just doodling in the black lines on the gel plate with your new brush tip markers. So I think that's dry now. I see a little bit of shininess in the purple. We could fan it.
We could, yes.
Or that could just be whatever. Let me touch it. Yeah, it's a little. So I'm going to use the 6-inch brayer because we're using the 9x12 gel plate, so I don't have to roll it that much. The idea is not to disrupt the markers. So if you were using a really small brayer, like something like this 1.5-inch one, and you had to roll it a lot to get it covered, it could work, but you have to be careful not to move the marker, especially if it's a little wet. Once it's dry, it's not going anywhere, but I never have the patience to wait. So if I use this big brayer while it's still a little bit wet, it's less likely to move around. So, but everybody probably has more patience than me, Barb.
My standard response to myself is that dead people have more patience than me, so I am in the same boat.
So you're in the same boat.
Yes.
So now I look at it and I don't see any shiny spots. Okay, so it's been just a couple of minutes. It's not like it's hours or anything. So, and then I'm gonna put out the Titan Buff Deep and
not too much because this is a pickup print.
Yeah, this is a pickup print, so you really want a thin layer. And then, like I said, with this nice 6-inch brayer, I don't have to do that much rolling. I think a thin layer, when I describe a thin layer, you should see, your stuff through it. It shouldn't be so thick that you can't see the pattern. And so we're just going to get a nice thin layer so it grabs onto the paper and picks this up. And that is a nice color.
It's just a nice neutral that's not white.
Exactly. So we're going to put the paper in there. And then because the black is dried on there and the markers are dried on there, you're going to have to give this one some time. So I like to apply some decent pressure with this Baron because I'm pushing down from my shoulders. I'm going to get it all adhered to the plate, and then we're going to turn off the camera and give it probably about 5 minutes or so because we don't want to rush this. We want to get all of it to pick up. So the best way to do that is just to really give it some time. So you can always pull a corner and check it. It's not going to be ready now. So we're going to check our email and have a drink and have a chat, and we'll be back. So it's been about 5 minutes, maybe a little bit more because we got sidetracked. But I think about 5 minutes is plenty. And what I'm going to do is just pull up the corner and see what we've got. So, oh, that looks good, Barb.
It looks great. Look at those colors and the swirly lines.
It's awesome. So when I pull this up, even if I were just to pull up this much to take a peek, when I see that there's nothing left on the plate, I know that this is ready to go. If you pull this up and there's still stuff on the plate, you want to put it back down and just bring up a little bit, just a little corner. You can see this needs to be clean. If it's not, put it back down, apply some pressure, and give it some more time. So we're good though here, and I'm pulling, and that.
Look at those lines.
Yeah, look at that. The thin and the thick,
yep,
and the little grungy bits of Titan Buff showing through there. And that is really nice.
Pretty awesome.
So
really is nice.
here we have that, and you can see the indirect printing effect. You get the rough edges of the black, you get the rough edges of the Posca pens. You get, it kind of looks a little bit like a wood block print sometimes to me.
Yeah, you're
With
right.
this, or like a carving print, like it was a carved linoleum stamp or something. That indirect printing, it just gives you some really nice kind of grungy effects that you wouldn't get if you were using the marker straight on the paper. Plus the reveal is lots of fun.
Yes, and I would call that a very successful print.
That is awesome. So anyway, that was a lot of fun. I think the doodling process is always relaxing. I love it.
Yeah, it is. There's just something to be said for laying color down, and because you're working on top of the black, you don't have to worry about coloring in the lines if you're inclined to. Some of us are not, and some of us are a little more anal about that. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, I do.
All
That's
right.
it for this week.
Yeah, we'll see you back here next week.
Bye.